Hello and welcome to Boxed Board, and tonight what we're going to do is look at Master Akari from the Temple of Rakan for the wonderful Bushido game. So first of all, having a look at the mini, I'm not the best painter as you can spot already, but that's the little mini you get, and I've moved them around a little bit and put some bits and pieces on. Largely this is a really simple paint job done with contrast from Games Workshop, so it's not the world's most detailed and wonderful paint job, but it's alright, it's adequate I think. So let's have a look at him, let's have a look at his styling. I love this guy, he's awesome in game I think, and I'm going to go through why in a minute or two, but before we do, let's have a look at his card so you can help this. It might help you to make up your mind. Costs 20 rice, so he's quite expensive. He's got 4 dice for melee, with the capacity to increase that a little bit as well, using key, at cost of 2. He has got 4 movement, again can be increased by 2. He's got a ranged attack of 3. He generates 3 key every roll and every turn, and he has got he can hold 10. In terms of his number of wounds, he's only got 4. So when a punch gets landed, it hurts him. Now he's got Bujutsu, which basically has got some interesting characteristics to it. So he's got reach, which means he gets the initiative in melee unless somebody else has got reach as well. He's got a combo attack which costs 0, but that would be your special. Attack, which is kind of interesting and cool. I find combo attack really nice. Then he's got counter strike defense, which is really quite nice, because basically what you can do is, if the defense is combo attack, let's go through that very quickly. Basically if he hits you do a damage roll, then you resolve that, then you deduct 2 from the success of that attack and resolve it, then 2 more until it becomes 0 and it stops. So basically you can end up mounting up a lot of damage, so it's meant to be like he's punching away. Now one thing to watch for that is he's got -2 on his combat rolls damage, because he's a little guy and he's not that strong. He's got counter strike defense, which is an interesting one, because counter strike defense basically means that if this defense is successful, the attacker allocates any dice to attack, then deduct 2 from the success level of the defense. If the success level is 0 or greater, then make a damage roll against the attacker using a modified success level. So basically, if you beat the attacker in defense, you take 2 off. If it's successful, then you can actually hurt them, and that can be quite effective. It's as a deterrent to people punching you up, which is kind of cool, and it costs you 0 key. He's got sidestep defense as well, which is quite handy. So basically, if your defense is successful, he may move away until it leaves the zone of control, so it stops people punching you up, and then he can run around a bit. So those in themselves make him quite defendable. He's also got, in terms of special rules, he's got dodge, or in terms of characteristics, he's got dodge, which is dodge 2, which means that he can leap out of the way. He can pick up 2, during a melee exchange, that may pick up to 2 attack dice rolled by its opponent to be re-rolled. Sorry, that was my mistake. So you can force somebody to re-roll 2 attack dice, which is kind of nice. Kind of cool. He's got jump up, which means that basically makes him very hard to knock down. That seems really obvious, but at the start of this model's activation, before its action is declared, you may remove any prone markers, which is kind of nice. Light-footed, which means that he can ignore difficult terrain. He then has got parry for 2. He can add 2 to the defense result and calculate its final defense result in melee exchanges, which is nice. So whenever you put that with dodge, he's going to be quite hard to hit. He's got ranged defense, which again is is quite a nice one. It basically means that he modifies the challenge number of his test of the defense of the test hit him by 2, so it becomes 2 harder. And he's tiny as well, so that's quite important because it means that he's actually very hard to hit already. He's got Sixth Sense, which means that he cannot be surprised, ignores camouflage, and has immune to blind. He has got Split Attack, which means that if he declares a melee or charge action, it may move into base to base with 2 or more enemy models, ignores their zone of control as long as it's moving closer to a point where it isn't base to base with both. After its movement, it can resolve a melee exchange with 2 or more, and it's got a penalty of -1 for each additional melee exchange, and resolves them in the order the controlling player chooses. So you can punch somebody and you can punch somebody else. You can split your attack, and there's a penalty, but it's not that massive a penalty. He does, however, have Tiny, which again makes him very hard to hit. So he's in +3. So that's quite for being hit, but he's also got weak, which means that he's got where is it? When this model makes a damage roll 3d6 and choose the 2 lowest. So he isn't going to hurt potentially, but he's very hard to hurt himself. Special rules he's got for 2 key. You can do dash. For 3 key you can do perfect defense, and for 3 key you can do vivacity. Now these are kind of cool. So dash against agile and evasive. Now agile, let me get this right, means that he can ignore enemy models in base to base, so he can disengage really well, which is kind of cool. And is it elusive or evasive? Evasive. Then means that he can, during movement, he can dart through zones of control effectively, which is kind of nice. Perfect defense means that he's got impenetrable defense until the end of the current activation, which basically means during this model's melee exchange, the enemy model must remove its highest attack die before the final attack result is calculated. Again, that makes it quite hard for him to be hurt. But the one that I find really interesting is this vivacity, because basically for 3 key he gets an extra activation, which is really useful in this game sometimes. So during a melee exchange, and then the unique thing, during a melee exchange, after removing or adding dice, the model may remove its highest attack dice and substitute in a defense dice at the same value. So what you've got here is you get somebody who's very, 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 very hard to get rid of, which means that he is a very nice, very effective holder of, I've forgotten the name of it, objectives or zones. And because he's expensive, if you get him into a zone, he will basically take control of that zone if he's in with somebody weaker, and he'll be very hard to shift. That's what Master Akari is brilliant for. So what I find him extremely useful for is dodging through the board, getting to where you want him to be, and stay in there. And then and that your opponent then goes, right, I'm going to have to deal with him, and moving lots of people over to attack him or to shift him. That's all right. You can ignore the zones of control, base-to-base contact rules, and just jump out of it and go somewhere else and do exactly the same kind of thing. He is awesome for that, and actually I really, really rate this character in the game. I think he's a fantastic model, very flavoursome, and absolutely bonkers to play against and play with. So there you go, that's Master Akari. I'm going to be doing a few more of these over the next couple of weeks, going through different characters that I've got and played with and my experience of, and yeah. As ever, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Comment if you think I'm being completely wrong about this, or if you think it's right, or if you've played against him, what's your experience been? Have you played with him? What's your experience? And also, please do subscribe to the channel. It makes a huge difference. We do a fair bit of Bushido content. We're going to be doing more and more of it. We also cover games like Carnivale and Wild West Exodus and a few other tabletop games as well as RPGs, and it would be great to have you on board so you don't miss any of the content out. Anyway, have a great evening and thank you for watching, and see you next time.